As some of you may know, there was a post that I did recently to say that we're moving out of Australia and we are actually moving to Portugal. And one of the first things we have to do to move to Portugal is we have to sell our house. And guess what? House is sold and it went before auction, which was awesome. But I want to talk to you a little bit about this because it's such an important element. Because here's the thing. When we put out the house on the market, you know, obviously there's a certain price, and obviously we would expect there's certain types of buyers. And one of the key elements is that if you have a certain type of buyer, then you need to have the right things for that particular buyer. Well, there's no different when it comes to your practice. In this particular instance, it's a house. You know, obviously it's something that a particular buyer would want to have. So this house, it's a pretty big house. It's three story high. It's got 5 bedrooms and 3 car garages. And so it depends on the buyer, right? So if a buyer is looking for a type of home just like this, then in this neighborhood, with some ocean views and this house, this type of home, then this is perfect for them. Well, that's only suitable if you need more bedrooms or less bedrooms. It's not right for you. Or if the price is not right, it's not right for you. So it's the same thing when it comes to chiropractic practices, right? When it comes to practice, you have a product or service that someone wants. And it's not for everybody, but it is for certain people. But it's your ability, just because you are a chiropractor, just because I have a house, doesn't mean that it's going to sell. Even in this type of market, it has to be sold to the right buyer. So what happens in chiropractic is the same thing. You have a product, you have a service, you have a practice, you have a business. But just because you have a business, just because you've been qualified as a chiropractor, doesn't necessarily mean that people are just going to naturally come because you're a doctor. It doesn't work that way, right? What works is that you actually have to have a service that people want. Well, we can't necessarily control what happens, but we can control how we communicate what people need. Because your ability to communicate what is necessary, in terms of convincing someone or influencing someone that this is something that is essential for them, that is the critical element. How much time do you spend doing that? Most people spend a lot of time as a chiropractor focusing on trying to get more new patients, do all those things. But have you ever actually sat down and actually focused in on how to refine your communication? How do you refine what you're actually selling? Because that's what you're doing. You're selling chiropractic. You're selling yourself. How much time have you actually spent crafting your message, crafting the way, what your essential value is to your patients? If you haven't done that, then maybe that's the first starting point. Rather than trying to worry about how to get more new patients, how to convert more patients, you might want to focus on what the hell am I actually selling? And what do people actually need? And is this something that what I'm selling, is it something that people want and desire? If it isn't, you might want to go back to the drawing board, because obviously a ton of chiropractors are successful because of this reason, not because they just happen to have a great business or they're great business people. No, they're selling chiropractic and they have a great business, they have a great practice because they know how to communicate and talk to your patients' needs and desires, and they are communicating in a way that something that the patients and the clients actually need and want. I'm Dr. Laurence Tham. Hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you're able to focus on that one thing, because really that is truly the way to success, to a profitable practice.